everyone, and thank you for joining me on another fun Marathon Society Saturday. Today we are sewing up the McCallie from K.Dill Handmade. I have chosen to sew up the bucket version, but I have left out the zipper pocket and opted to do the drop-in lining, and I have left the handles off. I thought this would be a cute bucket for me to keep some of my dog grooming supplies in, maybe, or something. I just thought it was cute. I'm using cotton woven interfaced with I don't think it's SF101. I know it's not SF101, but it's another woven interfacing. And then my lining is waterproof canvas from Fabric Wholesale Direct with no interfacing. And I think this is so cute. This is the first time I actually did any kind of project with this kind of base corner. And I think it turned out well. I'm using the thread from Wawak, the Adipop Text 45. And again, this is the bucket version with no zipper pocket and no handle, but I love how it turned out, and I hope you guys have enjoyed watching all the different versions of this pattern. I will link it below, as well as any other supplies. Obviously I can't, this is from Joann's, I can't link that. Maybe it's from Hobby Lobby, but I don't know. I can link the waterproof canvas and the tag and the pattern. And because this is a Marathon Society, I will have the link tree below so you can go watch all the other versions. There's the bucket version, there's a pouch version, like 4 different versions of this bag. So it's a fun pattern. I highly recommend it. Thank you, Kathy, for allowing us to feature it as one of the Marathon Society patterns. And let's get started. Okay, so my pieces here, I have the angled pockets, 2 of those in the exterior fabric and 2 of my lining. My exterior is cotton woven, and I have interfaced that with a woven interfacing. My lining is waterproof canvas. I'm not using any interfacing on that. So 2 exterior, 2 linings. I have my cotton base interfaced with SF101, and then I have my base Decoville Heavy already attached. I have my lining base out of waterproof canvas, no interfacing. I have my lining main pieces. I am doing the drop-in lining, so I've already marked my line for folding. And then I have my exterior cotton main pieces with my lines already marked for the drop-in lining. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. On both pieces. And I'm not doing a pocket, and that's part of the reason why I'm doing a drop-in lining. And then I have my woven label tag from Mormino, if it will focus. And then I got this cute one from Saya Swag. It says made by me and my dog. And then it has little puppy paw prints. And I think that's perfect to go with my pocket fabric. Because I'm making this as like a puppy supply bucket. So yes, I am making the bucket version with no handle and no zipper. And that's part of the reason why I'm doing the drop-in lining. I'm using new thread from Wawak. It's the Text 45 Adipop. I've never used it. It was on sale. So I'm like, I'm going to test it out. And it's the variegated rainbow. What's the color called? Feeling Groovy. And I thought it would be a good match for this. So let's get started. Make sure you take note of the seam allowances. We're going to start with the angled pocket. We're putting it right sides together, exterior and lining. I'm going to clip it really quick. And we're only stitching on this angled and I'm going to do it on both pieces. Okay, we're going to trim the seam allowance down and then turn it right side out. And I'm going to finger press and clip. And I'm going to top stitch here and here. Okay, so we have this here, and now we're going to take an exterior main piece and we're going to baste it at the top and the sides and the bottom. Okay, so I have this pocket attached to the exterior main body, and I'm going to repeat all of those steps to the other side. Okay, so I have piece 1 with my angled pocket attached, and I have piece 2 with my angled pocket attached, and now we're going to attach the base. So I'm going to take the base here. This has the Decoville Heavy on it, and I'm going to just clip it right sides together on one of them. And we're going to stitch it. And I'm going to trim the seam allowance down. Oops. Okay, now I am going to take the other side and clip it right sides together with the other side of the base. Okay, so we have all of it sewn together like this, and now we are going to, I'm actually going to clip this top to help hold it first on both sides. That part is not in the pattern, it's just going to help me because the weight of my fabric, the cotton is thinner, and then it's got the waterproof canvas in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold the base up. So we have the base folded here. So our corners are matching here. We have our base here. We're gonna clip, and I've never actually done a bottom like that. So again, on the other side, we're just folding the base up and matching the corners here. So our base is folded here. That's the fold. And she recommends sewing from the bottom up to the top. So I'm going to do that. So I have it like this, and the base looks like that from the outside. We're gonna trim down the seam allowance a little bit. Now we're gonna turn it right side out and just adjust the bottom corners as best as you can to make it look pretty. Like I said, I have not done anything like that. So we'll see how it looks. I mean, I think it looks pretty good without having to do much fuss with it. I might press it down a little bit. That's one side and that's the other side. I'm gonna press it really quick. Okay, so we have the exterior done. I forgot to add my tag, so I went back and added the made by me and my dog, and I'll put the other one on the inside. So now we're gonna move to the lining part. And because I'm not doing the zipper, so we're gonna do the drop-in lining. I'm just gonna stitch this so I don't forget. Okay, so we are going to, I'm gonna snip the centers. So it's lined up. Now we're going to move on to the lining, and I'm going to, so you're supposed to mark, there's a measurement you mark where you're gonna start and stop on the longer edge of this lining base piece. So you're not gonna sew all the way over, you're gonna start and stop at these marks, and you wanna make sure you check the seam allowance. Just clipping my centers so they line up. Okay, then we're gonna do it on the same thing on the with the other lining piece, other line main piece. Okay, so now we're going to clip these pieces together like so. And when you're sewing these side seams, you're gonna start at a smaller seam allowance and graduate into a larger seam allowance, which is mentioned in the pattern. See how it slowly grades in. And then we're gonna do that on the other side as well. And I'm gonna trim the seam allowance down. Except I'm not gonna trim my tag. So now she recommends right like where your stitching is to snip up to your stitch line to help so it lays more square, but on the lining panel only. So on the lining panel only, you want to stitch up to that stitch line. And now we're gonna box the corners. Okay, so then I'm going to sew these together at the given seam allowance. Okay, so now you have your lining all done. And then I'm gonna trim the seam allowances. And I'm doing the drop-in lining. And again, like I said, I drew my lines already before I even started this. And I'm gonna get some double stick tape. So I did double stick tape all the way around the edge of this. I will do it on the exterior as well. Fold it down, clip it, and then come back and sew it together. Okay, so I have my lining. What is this? Wrong side out. So we're basically gonna put this, drop the lining into the exterior part, wrong sides together. And I'm gonna flip, lining up the seams. I have some extra clips around here. And if you want to use double stick tape on this part also, you can. So I'm just matching up the top and clipping it together as one. So I have this all clipped together. Like I said, if you want to use double stick tape between the two layers, you can. And now I'm just going to top stitch it together. Being very careful because it is a little bit thicker at the top where this pocket folds over as well. So let's sew it together. And I'm actually going to turn it wrong side out because I like actually top stitching on the top. So bear with me for a minute. Hopefully stays together. Okay. Oh, this turned out so cute. And then my Y6 made one is in there. Okay. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye.